The tension is palpable here at the European Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship live from Antwerp here in 2022. We have two giants of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Circuit going head-to-head for this top 16 feature match. On my right, we have Joshua Schmidt, and then on the left, we have Herman Hansson. And this is going to be a very, very exciting duel. Gentlemen, I'm going to hand over the dice to you. You can roll to see which of you is going to be going first. Joshua has rolled a 9, and Herman has rolled a 4. So who's going to be going first? Herman, you're going to go first? Okay, so there we go. I'm going to hand you guys over to the wonderful Italian commentary team. Guys, take it away for this top 16 round.
Hi everyone and welcome to the top 16. As you might have already guessed, you can't get much better than this. What a match we have picked this round.
I mean, we could have asked for more. Top 16, as Ed said, two giants of the game, two of the most accomplished players in Europe. And they are going up against, you know, the best decks of the format we picked up.
Yeah, absolutely. They were on a roll. They both were undefeated 9-0 yesterday, and so there was a chance they could have played against each other today. But then it just happened now, and as we mentioned first, before talking about their decks in the specific, we can bring up for you guys the bracket for the top 16. Because there isn't only that match. As we can see here, Federico Macozzi against Federico Pastore is another incredible matchup. Both coming together, sleeping in the same room, same deck list, card by card, pretty much. And what a matchup. Marcus Patel just smashing it with his Sanavalon Rika deck. But if we go to the other side of the bracket, of course, we are going to have the matchup between our true duelist, Matteo Mordanini, another World Championship competitor. So a lot of good names. I gotta say, Italians are just crushing it, like free in this other side of the bracket, chewing the previous one. And going again to the next slide, we can show you the third side. And again, Ryan Yabri, what a player. So many good names, and this even Vlad is what a top cut. This is crazy, especially walking into the biggest ever European Championship and top 128. The chances of them losing was very high. And going to the last slide, where we have, of course, Herman against Joshua. It's just an unbelievable top cut we have.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are so many names, so many accomplished players. Either like in this match, we're gonna see most likely a world competitor advancing to the top 8, and then also there's Matteo, as you said.
Absolutely, they are crushing it. And talking about I think if you were paying attention to the match, you might have noticed that Joshua did win the die roll, but he opted to go second, which is something we have not yet seen in game 1. And that is because Joshua is playing a Sprite, but he's playing a going second deck list with no entraps and just a lot of those, you know, really good spells like Dark Ruler No More, Mystic Mine, even Enemy Controller, which is actually a very popular pick in the top 16. Both Federicos are also maining 3 copies of the card, so it's definitely an interesting choice. We'll see, because honestly, Herman deck, on the other hand, is really good at going first.
Yeah, I mean, I think these two decks are insane. Looking at Herman's deck, I think this was built also to beat Sprite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, definitely, I think he's happy to go first. Like,
he is, but at the same time, we have to mention we were already featuring yesterday Herman, and I want to say, without disrespecting the other, that he was looking as the most accomplished in a way, and even confident player with tier elements. He was looking as if he knew every single possible inch of the combos, but he's not expecting Mystic Mine in the main deck. So this will be an interesting one. Nonetheless, we'll see who will advance to the top 8. Our players are ready, so let's go to game 1. Here they are. So, if any of you missed Herman future match yesterday, he is playing the Dangers with the tier elements, but a very explosive one. Ooh, but he does get sniped right away. So, Jackalope will not be able to fetch him a card. Maybe he will get the Mothman, I guess, into a rank 4 play. Let's see.
Yeah, I think he plays one of the most consistent tier elements danger deck list we have seen so far this weekend. Also plays Galaxy Cyclone in the main deck, which is good. I think we have seen other players doing it, having just an out in the main deck to Mystic Mine.
Okay, he does have the Rhino, and as we already mentioned, we won't be seeing any interactions on Herman's turn because Joshua is not playing any Anthrop, so he's free to do whatever he wants, and I'm sure he will be happy about that.
Yeah, I really like, anyways, Joshua's approach to the deck list, because like from what we've seen so far this weekend, basically every single Sprite player has relied on 15 hand traps.
Yep.
Rather, instead he says, okay, I'm just gonna play my cards that have Mystic Mines, which I think he is the only player playing 3 copies in the Sprite
in the main deck in Sprite, definitely. But again, yeah, it's a good idea. Sometimes when you draw just one of the Anthrops, it doesn't do anything, so it's one less card you get to play against. While if you max out on the spells, it just brings more consistency to the deck, and even having a 6 card is great. So I do like his approach. I wonder whether Herman could have actually, if he won the die roll, maybe he would have let Joshua go first. I think that's a big chance that would have happened, so interesting stuff.
And here we get to see the Sherin being milled. We will soon see the Kid Kalos being summoned by Herman.
Yeah, he has it, so he will be able to just push forward probably into a Garura and then even get to mill 5. Obviously looking for that Fairy Tail Snow, an incredible card against Sprite. So he's considering his options. And okay, he decided to go for the Mad Dragon instead. So let's see these mills. He really wants to hit the snow out of them, and he does have the Galaxy Cyclone. So that's a huge hit in case the Mystic Mine comes down from Joshua. So
he also milled the Sulliak. Okay, I think still okay. Like
yeah, but I think he's super happy about that definitely. Cyclone. It's quite important, and not many players decided to main it. So this is a great hit by Herman, and it also changes things quite a bit from Joshua, who cannot just rely on the mine. He has to play it and then just pretty much break the board, maybe make it Zeus. So we'll see.
Here would you go, like also later on in the turn with the Dweller?
You can, but you most likely will necessarily have to go. This is a yeah, let's see. He will have to go into Curious, but is it? I think my Dragon, yeah, isn't it water? But he can declare it. Yeah. So great stuff, as you can see here, it's one of the most important cards. If any of you missed it and is wondering, of course, he declared the effect of the Mad Dragon, just making it dark so that he could go into the Curious. And this is just one of the standard combos that Herman came up with, so great stuff by the Swedish player. And yeah, we do see the Time Thief Redoer, so this is a very strong opening by Herman. He knows what he's up against, which makes a ton of a difference for his opening end, and Snow is so annoying because I think he has the Call by the Grave, right, in the main deck, so Joshua is hoping to get that, but if you have 14 cards, then it's not even an actual out to it, so interesting opening here. Yeah, and play is back to Joshua, so let's see if the decision to actually go second will pay off. Unfortunately for Herman, he does not pick up a spell or trap. It's gonna have to stick with the regular Time Thief Redoer effect. But we do start things off with a Redoer. And this is actually huge because as Time Thief does not detach his cost, he cannot be able, and it will be forced, as you can see here, to just use it right away. So well played by both, and I think Herman really showing off why he can play around his opponent cards by just flipping the Sulliak, right?
Yeah, I think this is what you really want to go for once you go first, especially because like Dark Ruler No More has been one of the most played cards in the main deck this weekend. But now if you're Joshua, you know that you're exposed to Galaxy Cyclone. So like the strategy of going with Mystic Mine is not an option at the moment.
Yeah, it is not, but still the Dark Ruler was pretty good to force out some things, and now still the snow is there, and the snow, as we mentioned, is absolutely incredible. We saw some players having success with Book of Moon in the main deck for the Flowanderies deck, just because of how good it is going first against the Sprite. So great stuff here by Herman nonetheless. Wow.
Yeah.
Can we see maybe a second copy? Oh, I do see a Mystic Mine in the end from Joshua, and he will go for it right now, definitely hurting, but the Cyclone is in the graveyard, so he really needs an explosive turn here to capitalize on the mine. Let's see if he can do it.
Now it gets nice, because...
yeah, still Mystic Mine is so strong here. It doesn't matter if there is the trap from Herman, it will still be able to do so much. And if you go into the Zeus, of course, then maybe not the best option, because then they can negate it, but I think he can manage a very strong turn at the moment. Yeah, Herman, considering his options, do you really risk it here? Wow.
Okay.
Interesting choice. What do you think?
Yeah, because like if Joshua doesn't have any other extender here, he's left with the blue, but it's risky.
Yeah, it is risky. At the same time, of course, since he activated the starter, I think it makes a little bit more sense because he's locked. So we won't be seeing a Zeus anytime soon. But definitely a brave decision here by Herman. Okay, they're gonna count the cards, but I mean, you can see Joshua being slightly, confused about it. He doesn't know that there is an out in the graveyard, so he will still try his best to play around that.
Yeah, I mean, once again we see Mystic Mine being played as an alternative. Like here you're free to do your combo, and I think like Joshua started pretty well. You know, with the Dark Ruler.
Yeah,
Mystic
absolutely.
Mine,
like that's the thing. Like a deck that is built to go second. Like when it was Sky Striker, the consistency is there. When it's Sprite, it might be a little risky, but this is the play that we were considering. Herman is also using the card, and this is one of the strategies that allowed Joshua to even enter this top. This is a devastating thing, and pretty much Herman wouldn't be able to have many outs to this. As you can read, essentially the Beat Cop puts a patrol counter on the mine, so you'd need to destroy it twice, and this is very tough to do. And yeah, you can see this is quite enough, and Joshua takes the game one due to the Beat Cop plus Mystic Mine combo.
I mean, we have seen great stuff.
What a start,
Herman,
yeah. Unfortunately, the opening from Herman was pretty solid, I would say. He would beat any normal Sprite opening, but the Dark Ruler was already kind of annoying, but I think Herman played really well around it. But then the mine is just Mystic Mine sometimes wins you the game, and the Beat Cop, which, by the way, Herman is also using, it's just so strong.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like 100%, knowing that during this tournament you can get an easy access to Galaxy Cyclone by milling it. Having a card like the Beat Cop prevents your opponent from destroying the Mystic Mine, and like as you saw, is scooped. And I think you don't really want to, you know, extend things, as you saw that you don't have any out.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, yeah, you don't want to waste time. They know their deck very well. They have been close to the top table, so they both know that each other are playing a card for when it comes to timeout, and that means that they really want to go for this match quickly. But now looking at the decks, Herman has a few options in the side deck, and I think what I'm interested in, will he let Joshua go first?
Because like looking up at Joshua's strategy, it will make sense.
Yeah.
He basically went second. He had everything he needed. I think that's what Joshua's deck does. Like going second plays also a lot of going second cards in the side deck as well.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't mind it. At the same time, Joshua does play dimensional barrier, so maybe alongside the trap trick, you know, it's kind of one of those mind games where you know that they go second, but maybe they're gonna side in, they're going first card, so you might get punished. But I'm really curious to see whether Herman, which is of course a great player, will actually think about this, or it will be just, no, let's go first, let's focus on my combo, and hope that they don't get Mystic Mine, because honestly I think in game one it was just a Mystic Mine. Yeah. And no other card in Joshua's deck was really capable of going through that opening, I think.
And do you think Joshua will expect that Herman will let him go first?
Maybe. But I think our players are pretty much ready, so we can jump right back into game 2. So let's see who will be going first, and I do see at least a Lightning Storm in Joshua's hand, so it would have been good if Herman played this Mind Trick, but I think he's going first. So Herman playing it as straightforward as it gets, he's gonna go first. I don't know if I agree completely with this. I think I would have really liked him if he just went second, but Joshua once again sniping really well. He hits the super polymerization, and this is an underwhelming opening from Herman. Milling, okay, at least in the end he kind of recovers, and Merrily will be able to combo off a little bit, so let's see.
Yeah, he definitely needed the tier elements to be milled. You can get things started.
Yeah, Kikalos is coming down here. And once again, we know Joshua is not really putting entrops in the deck or any kind of interruption. He will just allow his opponent to do whatever he can and then play with, I think, enemy controller and Lightning Storm I see in his hand, alongside maybe a Ronin. So that's not really what you want to see. But the rest of the hand looks okay. Let's see if Herman will try once again to go for Curious. Interestingly enough, he does not play outside of Skill Drain. I think, does he even play the Griffin, by the way, in the extra deck? Because I think he might not. Yeah, he's not playing the Griffin combo, so we saw some of these dangerous decks actually using the Griffin to get back cards like Epidemic Virus, but let's see these mills. Okay, does hit the Galaxy once again, important if the Beat Cop is not there, and he even hits another name to further go down his combos.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He got the Shireen, he's going to activate it.
Yeah.
What do you think he will go for? Because like game one, I mean, okay, yeah.
Yeah, of course. For now, he goes through. He could go for the double lose. Not double lose. I mean, he does play it, so that's also an interesting option. But he has, of course, the Stapelia alongside the trap. So let's see. Yeah, he does go for the Stapelia, so playing it a little safer here. I mean, even if it's top 16, you never know if your opponent is like every card they're playing. Nibiru is still an option, you know, and you always want to play around that. But here we see Garura, of course, great engine card to go into the Curious and guarantee the Snow. Yeah. So for now, Herman playing really well, as you would expect from him, to be honest.
And we really need to see if okay, it's going to for the okay, so
good stuff here from Herman, and I think we do see the Curious now sending the Snow. So once again, what a show off from Herman. He knows his deck really well, he knows how to get to this and to guarantee the Snow. So once again, it will be whether Joshua is able to fight back with cards like the Mystic Mine. Let's see. Oh, he's actually willing to go for Winda maybe instead. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so he bypasses the Snow, instead goes for the Shadow Beast. What do you think of this decision?
I like it. It's always annoying to play against Winda, but it will make sense. Like he also has the Cyclone in the graveyard, which
yeah, and then he gets to mill 3 cards, of course, for the Garura, the Curious, and now he mills 3. Wow, unfortunate mills here by Herman. Doesn't get anything going, but he decided to go for the draw 2 first. Let's see. So the end, I think it's a starter. So a really good end by Joshua. He has Lightning Storm starter, enemy controller, and I think Ronin and possibly another name. So it's a pretty decent end, I would say. Not the most impressive one, but depending on the start from Herman, it could still be very annoying to deal with it.
Because like I saw Herman has at least a couple of traps. He has double Salyak.
Yeah, but do you agree with actually not sending the snow there? He sets 2. Okay.
Risky.
So Joshua gets to play and draws into another starter. Not ideal, but he does have the Lightning Storm. He will get the option to destroy spell and traps if he wants. Let's see. I think I really would have liked the snow there. I'm not even going to lie about that, but we'll see. And this is so strong from Joshua.
Yeah, because like if you send the Shadow Beast, you want to draw 1.
Yeah, because then you guarantee the Winda, but I feel like Winda is a weird one against Joshua's deck. I think Snow would have been much better. So let's hope he does not regret this decision, and enemy controller would be a great tool here. Ooh, the last card was the Beaver, so what a end.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Because that makes the enemy controller just so much better. And yeah, you can see it here. He gets to use enemy controller. What an opening, yeah.
This is huge. What would you take here?
It's a tough one. I mean, it's not like you can do much about this, so he will allow it to resolve. And then let's see these mills. He really need a name. He does not get it, so this is huge turn of events, and Herman pretty much left with very few options at this point. I think Joshua has this in his pocket. He just has to find out a way to not give up the advantage he has at the moment, but still that snow, I think, can be a huge regret from Herman. Let's see.
He really needed a Tiarlaman monster to be milled, but again, Snow would have been great in this situation. This was very unfortunate as well.
Of course.
But Joshua's end...
Yeah, Joshua's end is absolutely incredible. He now gets the starter, so he can get even the rest of the Sprite engine going.
Yeah,
and the jet. So he already has the second copy, so he will get the smashers if he kept that in going second, but I would guess so.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does. So he gets to the smashers just in case things go wrong for him, or if he wants to try and just push a lot of damage here.
Yeah, we really have to see if Joshua wants to go more conservative, rather. I think he's going for a Link Summon.
Yeah. He will go for... Oh, okay, he's thinking about it. At the very last second, he changes his mind and goes for the Dark. Yeah, and he does get the other level 2 out of Herman Grave. Let's check maybe Joshua's extra deck. It's of course going second. He might have some unusual options. He's playing the Water Charmer, something we haven't seen too much of. Also, maybe Onimi, let's see, yeah. Onibimaru could be a good option going forward in the turn. We'll see. He has a lot of potential cards if he wants to just try and push for game. But for now, yeah, he will just go into the Gigantic.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You extend your combo even further. And I mean, Joshua knows that there's no response from Herman's side. This can hurt a lot because, like, later on you can pass into Elf as well.
Yeah. And here, yeah, you know, as we knew, he had the Ronin in his hand, so he can even get it back and special summon, and this is so much damage coming Herman's way, which you can see is slightly smiling, of course, not that happy about the situation he's in at the moment, but what can you do? Is he playing Cat Shark in the extra deck?
I don't think so. No, he's not.
No, so
Yeah.
only Bimaru could be, yeah, quite a lot of damage at the moment. Let's see. Yes, so much, yeah, he can do. He hasn't even used the elf at the moment, so yeah, this is very solid stuff from Joshua.
Yeah, I think he could go for Elf here.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Yeah.
Pushes forward with the elf, gonna get something going back just to optimize the number of level 2s he has. I think he still has enough to go for the Onimibaru most likely, but yeah, this is not too complicated. I'm sure he'll find a way. Okay, he goes for the Water Charmer, interesting one.
I think he's maybe one of the few players playing area.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of it, but going second, of course, the extra deck changes significantly. And to top thing off, the last one is, of course, the Toad. So we won't see yet an OTK, I guess, from the German player, but still a very impressive turnaround. So well played in a way by both.
Now it's not even so easy to come back, because like Herman really needs to find a way to deal with the Toad, but also with
and
two
even two face downs to top things off. He knows that as Smashers at least is there. Herman picks up a card. He has 4 at the moment in his hand. Let's see if he can find something. He does draw, I think, Impermanence. Yeah.
Okay.
And he goes for the Impermanence right away. So.
I think this is some. Yeah, you have to negate it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he does negate it, gets it back at this point. Whenever Herman will have a monster, he can even get the Totally Awesome back. But let's see if that will be enough. Herman, of course, trying his best to come back into this board, which isn't necessarily super scary, but Joshua last card, which was unknown to Herman, was a second copy of Starter, so he can get the red right now, and this actually does so much for Joshua. Let's see these mills, because this is gonna be where this game pretty much gonna end, or if we are gonna get to see a game 3. Let's see the mills. He does hit a name finally after so many unlucky mills, but let's just see if that will be enough.
Yeah, it's good for the Ophinis. It's a tough one.
Oh, but I think he didn't have... did not use the Rhino, I think?
No. No.
Wow, so he didn't have the chance, and this is quite unfortunate actually for Herman, because now he gets to bring back the Totally Awesome, and this is so much to deal with. Yeah. You see, considering his lines really well, now we get to see, of course, the red being used to negate one of the 2.
Now what do you go for? He's thinking about that.
Yeah, he's thinking if he wants to maybe push forward with the Kaleido art. Yeah, he does go for the Kaleido art, so trying his best. Let's see. He does know that the Smashers is there, though.
Yeah, really needs to find a way somehow to deal with it, because
this seems very tough. The Smashers is just a great way to deal with the Kaleido worst-case scenario. So we have to remind you guys of what's face down, of course, from Joshua, and
yeah, I think he's considering to activate it now.
Yeah. He goes for the Smashers, not a surprise, and this is not good news for Herman fans, I guess. That's gone. Herman left with just one card in his hand. And totally awesome. He's on the field. You can see he's considering what he has. He gave his opponent an infinite impermanence face down. This is almost mission impossible. Let's see if Herman can find a way. He's thinking about it quite a bit, though. So that could be a good sign.
I have an ace in the pocket.
Yeah, this is quite tough because there are so many resources left for Joshua regardless. So okay. So the last card was that it gets negated. Herman gives the handshake away, and it is Joshua who wins 2-0 and will advance to the top 8. What a match, and in the end we talked about how both are quite accomplished players going against each other, both former world competitors, so it was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, we have to give credit to both players advancing to the biggest European championship we've ever had. Game 1, I think we called it like Joshua's deck is built to go second. His hand was just amazing, although, you know, Herman, the combo off, like, pretty impressive. Like the Mystic Mine, you know, did his job, especially because like he also had the Dark Lure no more, so he had the chance to play along with the impressive field put up by Herman.
But yeah, it was honestly a field battle, because in game 1, I think Herman gave it his best. He played really well, come up with almost an unbreakable board. And even through the Dark Lure, he had some, you know, backup plan with the continuous trap card, but Mystic Mine was just too much. And not even Mystic Mine alone, because he even had a plan for that with the Galaxy Cyclone Engrave, but the Beat Cop plus Mystic Mine combo, he just had no outs in the main deck, and you can't blame him. Game 2, I think there are two maybe key points. One, the decision from Herman to go first. Yeah. We were discussing whether, I mean, it was obvious because Joshua let him start, so he knows what is up with his deck. And looking at the side decks, Joshua put in cards like Storm evenly, you know, he has so much more going on. Maybe I would have liked it. To be fair, the end was still somewhat powerful from Joshua, but that would have been an interesting interaction. But the second key point of the match in game 2 was the Curious. So the Curious had an option to either send a Shadow, which he did, or Snow. And I think that considering why you lose, especially after he said Shu, like you had a perfect opening, what do you really lose to? You have to think about this kind of stuff, and having the Snow Engrave just gives you so much advantage. I'm afraid, and I really would have liked to ask him what would have happened in that case, because I think in game 2, Joshua wouldn't not maybe had enough to come back even through the snow.
Yeah, we have to say also that Herman was quite unfortunate with the mills he had, because like apart from the, you know, the last Element Monster mill, they didn't have quite a lot going on.
Yeah, because that would have changed the match actually when Joshua went for the enemy controller to take away another piece. Then if he would have eaten aim, maybe that would have changed the outcome of the match, and we would have a different top 8 competitor. But regardless, I guess congratulations to both. They put up one hell of a fight, and in the end it was Joshua who prevailed and moved to the top 8. So we have one of our first top 8 competitors for this top 128 European Championship. I'm sure we'll find out quite soon the rest of the top 8 competitors going up against, of course, one of the favorites with Joshua, and we'll also find out possibly the deck breakdown for the event and for the top 8. But without further ado, I think we can go back to Ed and Joshua in a moment for their interviews. As we obviously know, we want to hear it from him, and maybe we will get to ask him a few questions. The one, maybe, why did he pick a deck to go second, if he had it already in mind, and what would have happened if maybe Herman decided to send that Snow in game 2. Still, thank you guys for watching. Let's go to Ed for the winner's interview.
Thank you very much, Marcello. Yes, I am joined by Joshua Schmidt, who is now into the top 8. First of all, Joshua, congratulations. Tell us how it feels to be in the top 8 of the biggest European Championship that we've ever had.
It feels amazing. It's been a while since I've had a realistic shot at becoming the European champion, so I'm really hyped to be here today.
So talk to us a little bit about your deck. You're using a kind of going second deck, which you knew from the start. You let Herman go first. Why are you playing a going second deck?
So I don't usually go blind second. In Herman's case, it's because we're on the same team. I know that if I'm playing against a tournament deck specifically, if I go second and I have the Mystic Mine, because I discovered the beat cop 2 days ago or something, which, by the way, I'm not proud of that, but you know, hate the game, not the player. I knew that against like tournaments, if I go second, I have the mine, I win the game every single time. And I also have a lot of other going second cards. The idea behind my deck is to go first, because the Sprite deck is very good at going first inherently. But if I happen to go second, I'd rather play like the powerful spells than like hand traps, which I don't think are very effective this format.
Because you did have a couple of moments where you protected your Mystic Mine with Beat Cop and stuff, so moments like that were very good. You had a very strong opening hand as well, and you had a lot of moments where, despite Herman having a very strong field setup, you still managed to play around it. So tell us what was going through your mind through some of the games, because obviously Herman was let down by some of the Havnis mills. So how did you try and capitalize on those moments?
So in game 1, all I was thinking about was the Mystic Mine, because I knew that every single tournament player in the room only has one out to it, and I have the Beat Cop to protect it once, so it's literally going to work every single time. So the only thing that I was worried about is him setting too many trap cards or super polymerizations to stop the Beat Cop from happening, which luckily it only was one trap, which I can always play through and make the Beat Cop happen anyways, which I did. And in game 2, it was just like his turn 1 was by no means bad. It could have probably been a little better, especially the Havnis missing on my turn was clutch, because then my hand played through his board that he already had very well, and the Havnis not putting anything else out there just made it like very commanding to break the board.
And I believe the commentators were wondering why you didn't go for Snow with the Toad. I think it was in your second game?
For Snow, he did not have Snow. That's maybe what they were wondering about.
That might have been that.
That's what I was wondering about, because Snow in the graveyard could have really helped them stop my turn, but he ended up going for the Beast because he wanted to set up Winda. And as it turns out, he did, after milling the Beast, he did not get to another way to fusion summon, so he was not able to put the Winda out there, so the Snow would have ended up being a much better interruption. So he took the higher risk, higher reward kind of approach to it, and he didn't get rewarded, so that's good.
Well, you are now going into the top 8, so congratulations to you, Joshua. I am going to let you go so that you can get off to that match, but do not go anywhere, because we have a very exciting top 8 coming your way as we edge ever closer to the finals here at the European Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship from Antwerp. Don't go anywhere.